when you talk about the
boogeyman,
when you talk about the
right.
boogeyman, he killed them with a fucking pencil. That is James Reese.
That's literally John Wick.
That's James Reese.
This is a lunchtime conversation.
Okay, today we're having a versus battle, and it's against the most badass movie characters of all time. So, for example,
But non-superpower.
Yeah, non-superpower action hero type characters.
Yes, thank you.
Spies,
And from
more
a
realistic.
yes, a realistic a realistic action movie type situation. So, for example, like in number 1 seed, yes, I seeded them. I was a little biased, but we have
Wait. You were the one that seeded them? You didn't have any like outside source seed them.
I did not have any outsourced.
So there wasn't like a ranking
You
of
predetermined who you think should win.
Yeah. Who's the most popular action hero? Who would be
No, true.
Win? You didn't put it all in ChatGPT and go, hey, rank these by strongest to weakest.
I did do that, and it come up with the stupidest action heroes. Like, I was like,
you think it's stupid because you didn't do it. That's why.
I'm using my own. Like, I am not. Yeah, I was frustrated with ChatGPTs. The reason I wanted to do it too is because I wanted to make sure like we're not having like a John Rambo. He's 16th seed. Like, sorry, you John Rambo fans, but he's a badass. But he was a badass in the 80s, and he barely made the cut list. I had 32 action heroes, and I cut it down to 16. And then I tried to go through and rank them on a yes, he would beat him most likely, just so it can be quick too, because we're going to go through each one of these, and we're going to advance these 16 action people down to the
other interesting part is Braden's seen like none of these
I've seen
movies,
none
so
of them.
so we're gonna have to talk about the characters and what they've done.
And I think that's what'll be fun, is because if you and I just agree on it just wholeheartedly, like yes, he beats him, we move on to the next one. But if there's one we're tied on, it'll almost be a who's better at convincing Braden of who should win.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be an episode of contention with.
So yes.
So okay. So should we go through all list of 16, and then do our verses, and then you guys?
No, I have them ranked in a bracket, 1st seed versus 16 seed.
Yeah, I know. So should we announce the contenders? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I could read. You want me to read who was seeded? Just read number 1, 2, 3 that way.
Ooh, no. Let's do map by matches.
Okay.
Forget the seeds.
Okay.
Just say so and so is going against so and so, and then so and so.
Yeah, let's
then
do
we'll
that.
dive through.
I agree.
Okay. Up first, we got James Reese in the terminal list against John Rambo.
Is it
from Rambo?
Is it the terminal list or the terminal list?
The terminal list.
Terminal
like
list.
He's got terminal cancer, but
he's on a
gonna die.
list.
But he's got a list of people he needs to kill beforehand.
Yeah.
Really badass dude.
Oh, okay.
Okay, our match number 2, we got Aaron Cross. Or do you want me?
Oh yeah, go through.
Go through the first whole bracket.
Yeah. Okay.
So match number 2, we got Aaron Cross, which he is Jason Bourne universe, but he's almost a level up, some would argue, especially me.
He's the Gohan's, the Goku.
He is going up against Robert McCall. And if you don't know who that is, that's probably why Aaron Cross is going to win. But he's from he's the equalizer guy. So the guy you've probably seen the previews where he times how long it takes him to kill everyone in the room.
Oh,
He'll put a stopwatch on. Okay, next up we got John Wick, a number 5 seed, wasn't as seeded as high as he should have been, going up against Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible.
Easy.
Number 7 seed is Bob Lee Swagger from The Shooter, either the series or the movie, going up against, doesn't even have a name, it's Agent 47, Hitman the video game, and there are many movies about Hitman. Number 8 seed, we got Gary Eggsy Unwin from The Kingsman, if you've seen that movie, going up against Hutch Mansell from Nobody, the movie Nobody.
I'm sad you put those two together.
Number 6 seed is Mitch Rapp, American Assassin, going up against a number 11 seed, Frank Castle, The Punisher. Number 4 seed, top contender here, Jason Bourne, going up against John Clark at a number 13 seed. John Clark is from Without Remorse, Tom Clancy on Amazon Prime. It's just a movie. Number 2 seed, Christian Wolf, The Accountant, going up against James Bond, whatever Bond you want, but probably more likely the Daniel Craig one from 007. So
Who was the most badass Bond?
I would say it's the new guy.
Craig?
Daniel Craig.
I would, because he's more
Probably.
can express physical violence versus the old ones were like
Suave.
suave, and then they have a freaking snowmobile that turns into a jet that then turns into a submarine and
They
then
were
turns
actually,
into a
like, secret
spaceship.
agents.
Yeah, they weren't badasses. They had badass.
So something
stuff.
to acknowledge. We said no superheroes. You have Punisher on there, and some would classify him as a Marvel superhero.
True. That is
Even
a
though
good
he
point.
doesn't
But he doesn't have
technically
powers.
a power.
Yeah, he doesn't have any powers.
His power is
He's just a
he's
Marvel character.
badass.
There's
True.
also characters.
So I guess that is a good thing to point out. He's okay. We're not going to veto him out. Mostly because I don't have my other 32 people to pick from. Okay.
Okay.
You ready to start off?
Yep. What's the first
Do you have a
matchup?
pen?
Okay. Yeah, I got a pen.
Okay.
So we're going to go through and do all this. So James Reese.
Wait. Hold on. Should we take stock and bet on who we think is going to win it all?
Ooh, right off the bat.
Yeah.
Let's
But
do it.
It's your guys' decisions. You're just gonna bet on.
Yeah, but we have to argue against it and have to argue for the other person just to
Okay,
be fair.
Yeah, without
And then
without
have to
looking
judge-
at
if you haven't
matchups.
heard about either or, you're gonna have to judge based on our.
Do you-
Well, because I guess I could persuade you.
Who do you think, hearing the list, who do you think would win? You haven't watched hardly any of
Yeah.
these. Do you have someone you're like, I think he would win just from,
Come back to me.
what about you?
I personally think probably John Wick would win.
No way. I seeded them the way that I think they would win. I think James Reese would be a number one. And there's a lot of people I'd put before John Wick.
Really?
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun conversation.
I don't think I'd pick John Wick. I'm thinking about it now. We'll get into it when it's.
And we have to determine
Nice.
what's the fight itself.
Okay,
it's a
yes.
1v1 fight, right?
Yes, and that's a good point. I'm glad you brought this up. This is not we put them in a octagon cage and who's the better martial artist. This is John Wick is in Paris.
In their skill set.
Yes, John Wick is in Paris, and who's he up against? No, let's just do it with the first one. You got so the first matchup we got James Reese from the Terminal List versus John Rambo. So James Reese is living in San Diego, California. John Rambo is living in
The rainforest.
North Carolina in the forest. They both get a message that their objective is to kill each other and
Your
go.
target is kill X or kill the other.
Yes.
And go.
And they are motivated through and through, whether by past emotions or whatever, but whatever emotions they carried in their movies, they carry into this objective because that'll help a little bit. And so that's the scenario. It's not just a fight. It's they have to hunt them down and assassinate them. It's an assassination
And
assignment.
that's why you think James Reese would win.
Yes.
For those of you that have seen the Terminal List, that is the entire movie.
That's the entire
It's him
movie,
hunting
but like
people down.
Him hunting his Terminal List of people he needs to kill
one by one.
one by one.
What does Rambo do?
Like, it fights an entire army multiple times over and again. So Rambo would for sure win.
Oh, really?
I think so.
You think James Reese would lose to John Rambo? I didn't think we were
Okay,
gonna have a. Okay,
Will,
no, we're
will Rambo even be able to locate this motherfucker?
No, I don't think he would. John Rambo's a badass, but
He fights armies.
yeah, but he's not fighting special ops armies. He's fighting the
The
freaking
Viet Cong that won in the war against America.
True. But he's also fighting with a bow and arrow that has explosive tips, and it's stupid. It's gimmicky. He's gonna lose. I swear on everything holy. If James Reese loses in the first round, I'm gonna walk out of the podcast.
So here's what I'll say about James Reese, the Terminal List, because Brady, you've never seen Terminal List, right?
No.
The movie portrays him as not an assassin. He's not a born killer in that manner. He's a military guy who has to go kill somebody or a bunch of people who have done wrong to him
Mhm.
and hunt them down individually. That's his skill set. Is he uses his military experience, his contacts to go hunt whoever he's hunting on his list.
The thing I would add to it, the thing that's unique about James Reese, and I've read all of his books. So there's a Terminal List that's on Amazon Prime. Awesome. You should go watch it. But the books are just so much better, like they always are when it comes to books and movies. In the book, he is a man that has always almost held back because he's doing the right thing. Like he's out fighting for his country. He is trying to catch
guided
bad
by
guys.
laws and-
He's abiding by
yeah.
laws. And what happens is his family gets killed because of some government conspiracy theory. And then he finds out he has terminal cancer and he's like, fine, the gloves are off. And so he doesn't go about this as I'm a good guy trying to do good things. He goes about it as, I am now the terrorist, and I will kill everyone and everything in the way that prevents me from doing my mission.
So, okay, so now here's how I'm going to decide, really. When they do find each other, is it a fight? Or, you know what I mean?
It might be
an
from
assassination.
It might be an assassination, and that's where I go James Reese. He assassinated so many different people, so many different ways, where John Rambo, literally, it's just a fight with everything he runs into. It's just seat of the pants. Hopefully I win against this army, and he does, but I would say James Reese would do just as good, if not better.
Tiebreaker, James Reese. Put it down, lock it in.
I'll concede to James Reese. That's
yes.
Okay. He's good.
Hey. Next matchup, we got Aaron Cross, Born Legacy, against Robert McCall, Equalizer.
Don't know if I've seen Born Legacy.
So maybe a little bit to teach about Born Legacy. This one could almost get a little sci-fi. So he's in the Jason Bourne universe. He's actually at a training facility, and he looks up at the bunk above him, and it has Jason Bourne's name etched into like the wood that's there. So he goes through the same training, all this. The reason I would think he's a little bit better than Jason Bourne is they start to figure out ways to up their physicality and their mental capabilities through genetics. They start messing with their genetics. And so from my standpoint, you have Jason Bourne that's a badass, but then they took other people and then they were making them even more physically and mentally capable to fight. And then Robert McCall, Equalizer, I don't really know his background story, but more of a...
I've seen the movie once. It's actually not that much of an older movie.
Yeah.
It's Denzel Washington, right?
Yes, correct.
And he's just a badass. But I don't remember the whole movie.
And I don't remember his background story.
I'm thinking we go with the Legacy, Born Legacy.
I think so too, because I don't know the Equalizer's background very well. So the movie.
Why'd you put him on here then?
What?
Why'd you put him on here then?
Because he's a badass. He really is. He is legit. Like, he's in a room with 5 or 6 people, and they're like, hey, you got 5 minutes to give us the money. And he's like, he turns his watch. He's like, no, you have 2 minutes and 45 seconds before you're all dead. And then the cool part in episode, or the first movie, is he kills everyone. It was 2 minutes and like 52 seconds. He's like, oh man, I'm a little rusty. And so it was, but like, so he is a badass, but I would say the movie didn't do him justice of why he should beat another badass.
Okay, let's go back to the same question. When they get to each other, it seems like
Aaron Cross, trained like a Jason Bourne, I would think he would probably do a better job assassinating him.
I don't know.
Yeah, because are we talking assassinations, or are we talking?
Well, because it would depend on who's able to find who first.
Yep.
And make the first contact.
Yep.
And is the first contact gonna land?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And then does it turn into a hand-to-hand combat, or what does it happen?
Yeah.
These two might be hand-to-hand. Oh,
I think they go hand-to-hand.
So I'm Aaron Cross. Who are you? I'm Aaron Cross, Born Legacy. Where are you at?
I'm Equalizer.
You're Equalizer.
I'm Equalizer.
Oh man, so you're gonna be the tiebreaker.
Probably Equalizer, because he is, his whole MO is killing.
Okay. Whereas
and badassery.
Yeah, he's the Equalizer.
Yeah.
You call him in when you need a big gun.
Okay.
For anything.
That was a big upset. That was a number 3 getting beat out by a 14 seed, by the way. Okay, next one, John Wick versus Ethan Hunt. So John Wick versus Mission Impossible, dude.
What do you mean?
It's John Wick, yeah?
John Wick is an assassin through and through.
Yeah.
I think he's going to take the whole thing, and here's
I don't
why.
know. Okay, I'll let you go.
He's going to take the whole thing because before the John Wick series, even, the guy had a career of the career as an assassin, assassinating people. That was his entire life. He's going to find you, and he's going to kill you before you know it.
And when the top assassins come after him, they can't get the job.
Yeah, but man, every fight in John Wick, it's a slog.
Oh, it's a slog.
True. He's like 50 people.
I know, but
but they're all hand to hand.
John Wick 4, they're all trained assassins coming for him, and he beats every single one.
And every combat in the movie, and every combat in the movie is very close. He barely
gets by.
He barely gets by. He always gets maimed. It's always a slog. He's beaten a lot of people, yes, but it's always a slog. Now, like the Equalizer, never a slog.
That's true. Right? Well, at the end, it's he does get beat up a little bit, but you have a good point there.
Now, do not take that away from John Wick, because John Wick is badass and he has a reputation of being a badass. Right?
But
what
you're
do they
right.
call him in the first one?
You're almost like, if you look at an MMA fighter, so I look at Khabib Nurmagomedov, he has only lost 2 or 3 rounds his entire career. He has never been defeated, versus like a John Jones that some say is the best fighter that's ever existed. John Jones has had his ass handed to him a few different times and barely come out on top. So yes, he is the best, but then you got a guy that's never even come close to losing. Every single fight he has dominated.
Yeah. So, okay. I think he beats Ethan Hunt though. Like, okay. Come on. He's like 4'5" or something.
He's taller than me. John, so what do you think?
Fully John Wick.
Okay, John Wick beats
It's
out
going to get
Ethan
tough,
Hunt.
though, I think. He's got to run into some tough competition.
He is. Okay, Bob Lee Swagger, he's from the Shooter series. His background is a long-range sniper. Has to fight back to the government. Very similar to, I think, James Reese gets blamed for something he didn't do.
Is that who the matchup is against?
No, Bob Lee Swagger against Agent 47 against Hitman. But Bob Lee Swagger is very similar to James Reese's story, where he...
This one's an interesting matchup because you've put an assassin against somebody who's really good at evading assassins.
Oh, true. Because
in Shooter,
Hitman is an assassin.
yes, a really, really good one.
Shooter, the entire premise of the movie, I don't know if you've seen it, is he gets fucked over by the government, and the government is trying to assassinate him, and he needs to evade assassins. And so he's really good about getting away from assassins.
Agent 47 type of assassins.
Right.
True. They sent in
these
the
are just
bottom
government
level.
assassins.
Yep,
right?
they're not Agent 47.
These are Agent 47 is a private assassin. They're just different.
I would probably go with Agent 47.
I think so too.
I probably would too, to be honest.
Okay, that's an easy one. Not an easy one.
It
but...
hurts.
It does hurt a little bit, but god damn is he good.
Okay, Agent 47 moved on. All right, next one. This one will be fun because I'm sad you haven't seen this one. So
I've seen like none of these.
Gary Eggsy, he's from The Kingsman versus
one of the best movies, by the way.
It's such a good movie. Fun. It's funny. It's good. It's action packed. Go watch it. Against Hutch Mansell, Nobody.
Also a really good movie.
Also kind of a good movie if you know that it's a little satire in it.
Kind of.
You have to maybe you guys know. You guys can decide without me.
I'm gonna say Kingsman, but here's why. So in Kingsman, they're trained elite kind of special forces, but like secret agent special forces. So they're super trained to just know how to kill and know how to fight, know how to get their objective complete. In Nobody, he is the whole premise of the show is he's leading a double life. He's leading a nobody life. Nobody likes him. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows what he's done. But his past career was that he was like he wasn't a hitman. What was he? Was like an FBI or
they called him he was like not the cleanup crew, an auditor. That's what he called himself. He says when things went bad, I would go in and clean house. I would audit the place and kill everyone.
Yeah.
And so he was good. I agree with it. The Kingsman's
gonna the slate.
Yes,
It got messy.
Yep, the Kingsman's gonna win more for the fact that Hutch Mansell and Nobody. The thing that was frustrating about it is he used to do that, and now he's trying to do it. So
and he gets his ass kicked in every
situation. He gets his ass kicked. So if you put him up against Gary Eggsy, even though Nobody was a good movie from that standpoint, I went into it with a different point of view of like, oh, this is gonna be an awesome movie, and didn't realize that no, he gets his butt kicked a lot. He used to be a badass, and he's trying to still be a badass. So I would agree. Kingsman wins.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Kingsman beats out. So 8th seed beats out a 9 seed. And on the next one, we got Mitch Rapp, American Assassin, versus Frank Castle, the Punisher. I think there might be some arguments on this one.
Wait, what was the first one?
Mitch Rapp, American Assassin is the movie, against Frank Castle, the Punisher. So Mitch Rapp, background on him, he's at a beach resort with his girlfriend. He proposes to her. Then there's a terrorist attack that happens and she dies. He goes off the map. He's gone for like 2 years. When he reappears on the map, he's in the Middle East killing terrorists just on his own. The CIA finally recruits him and says, dude, like, that's cool you're doing this, but come work for us. So then he goes and works for the CIA, and he's an assassin for them after that. So but he's just kind of a savant when it comes to fighting, espionage, all that type of stuff. And the fact that he was able to do it on his own, like he's a pretty big badass. And then you got Frank Castle that takes out a lot of people. Where are you at on this one?
Probably Frank Castle.
Oh, really?
It's a good matchup though.
Yeah.
But doesn't Frank Castle? It's like fits of rage. That
his whole persona is a fit of rage.
Yeah, like that's his.
It's not very clean.
It's not very clean.
So let's go back to the scenario.
He fights emotionally.
Yeah, let's go back to the scenario. Who's gonna find who first?
Mitch Rapp's gonna find him first.
I agree.
He's
and
gonna
he's
get
probably
the drop
gonna be
on
able
him.
to get him.
And even if there is a rage fight, I gotta go with Braden on this
because Punisher, he is going after people that aren't really expecting him almost.
True.
Right?
Just
They've wronged him.
They're gangbangers.
They're gangbangers.
Yep.
Yep. And he just goes and he punishes bad people, but they're not assassins. They're not
brings up
looking
a good
for him.
question. Are all of these matchups expecting the other to come after them? Do they know they're being hunted?
Yeah, they all are, because you're assigning both of them
Okay.
to go find each other. But I agree, even in that situation, Mitch Rapp would find Frank Castle first.
I think so too. Yeah, Punisher's out. In my opinion, is that
All right.
Yeah,
You sad about that loss?
No, I'm not. I'm beat.
what was the seeding?
So Mitch Rapp was a 6th seed. Frank Castle was an 11th seed.
Okay, that plays out.
All right. The next one we got Jason Bourne. If you don't know about Jason Bourne, he's in the Bourne Identity movies, going up against John Clark. He's in a Amazon movie called Without Remorse by Tom Clancy. I am going with Jason Bourne. He's a 4th seed against a 13 seed. He's a badass. John Clark's also a badass, but not to this level.
I've only seen Jason Bourne, so I'll probably have to go with that.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Looks like Jason Bourne moves on. Sorry, sometimes it's just easy to get a W when you're up against a lower seeded person.
We've already got an upset though.
We do have.
Was there any other upsets? Oh wait, we got one more. Well, let's
we got
figure
one
that out
more.
later.
So Jason Bourne wins. Okay, next one, you got James Bond versus Christian Wolf. So we know about James Bond. Probably Christian Wolf is the accountant. His background story for you, Braden. His father raised him and his brother. Here is the cool thing about Christian Wolf. Christian is autistic, almost severely autistic. He has a really hard time, like from socializing with people. He's really good with numbers, and obviously the way he was raised, he becomes very good at fighting. His father raises him basically to be an assassin. He ends up starting working for like bad people, right? And then gets caught, goes to prison, gets out of prison. Then he starts working for good people and trying to right the wrong. So he would cook the books. He was so good with numbers, he'd cook the books for like drug cartels and stuff. He got caught, goes to prison. When he gets out, he starts working with a friend that's also autistic, but's very good with computers, and helps him find some of the bad guys and start righting some of the wrongs that he's done in his life. So
How do the fights play out?
I would say he is so intelligent and so good with that he usually dominates and does really, really well.
Yeah.
How does this one play out with
He just spilled his beer.
we can push pause. This one's hard because James Bond's a badass, but Christian, you and Kenna would like the accountant. I think you would. There's twists in the movie that are different, but like it is it's a good action movie. Like there's more than just killing people. I picked Christian Wolf. I think he's a badass.
Who's he going up against again?
James Bond.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll go Christian Wolf as well.
Really? James Bond.
I would dare say this about James Bond. He's similar to John Wick's scenario where it's every fight he doesn't do that good.
A little bit of a slog.
James Bond is not good without his people or his technology.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
From a historical standpoint.
But he'd have his people when he's hunting.
Yeah,
Sure,
Yeah,
but you
he's
put him
tight.
in a one-on-one situation with no gear, no people, no assets.
But
But
he's
no,
gonna have
this
those.
is-
He's gonna have
yeah,
those.
you'll have everything
Until
therein.
you get to the shit of the shit,
True, and that's where I think Christian Wolf would come on top.
and then you have some autistic dude staring you in the face, beating the shit out of you.
Okay, upsets. The biggest upset was Aaron Cross, Bourne Legacy, losing to Robert McCall from Equalizer, a 3rd seed, losing to a 14th seed.
Yeah. Huge upset.
We have Agent 47, a 10th seed, beating out a 7th seed. Agent 47 beat Bob Lee Swagger. And those were the only upsets.
Okay.
We should have, maybe what we should have done is release, this could have been our revenue generator. Let people put money down on this and then see
We still can.
True, yeah.
You can still put it out, let people.
Okay, let's go back to the top. To get into the semifinals match, you got James Reese versus Robert McCall. So James Reese terminal list, Robert McCall with equalizer. What my one point of this is, if you say the word Robert McCall, even people that watch action movies might not know who you're talking about. Versus if you say James Reese, if you're up to date on your action movies, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know James Reese.
But if you say terminal list versus the equalizer, what do people say? People are gonna go, the equalizer, he's a badass dude.
That is true. I'm gonna put my vote out there. James Reese would whoop the shit out of it. So again,
Denzel Washington or Chris Pratt.
True, yeah. That's another way to put it. So again, this is they're living their separate lives. They get asked to assassinate each other with their resources, everything they do. James Reese, I feel like, would do the job with Robert McCall. What I saw in the Equalizer movies, he was doing this more to low-level thugs and trying to equalize the situation and things that he saw. Versus a James Reese, like he's killing. In the terminal list, he killed the head honcho at the Navy SEAL Academy.
Yep. High-level military guys, goes in and infiltrates bases and to get them.
Yeah. And
he wins.
I agree.
Okay. Man, that's a tough. People are going to be mad. Maybe not. Okay, James Reese moves on.
His was an upset.
All right. John Wick versus Agent 47.
Oh, man.
Hey,
Assassin versus
like a true assassin.
Agent 47 doesn't ever get beat.
Neither does John Wick. He might get punched in the face, but he wins.
But Agent 47,
it's all calculated.
Is Agent 47 ever a slog, or does he just go in?
He goes
Very
in and
gets his disguises.
well, let me clarify this.
Okay.
He's a hitman. He's not a fighting assassin.
You're right.
What happens in the
You're
games
right.
when you get caught as Agent 47?
If he doesn't get the drop on him, that is interesting to think about. I didn't think about he's a hitman. He's not a John Wick assassin.
Yeah. John Wick can get caught and get out of it.
Yeah, you're absolutely
He stashes
right.
guns in tunnels and has a whole fight along through that.
Here, this might be the deciding factor. Who finds who first?
I might give that to Agent 47 because that's his job. His job is to find people and to kill them.
Without them suspecting it, though.
Without
John
them.
Wick, his specialty in all the movies is he's being hunted. He knows it, and he's getting away from it.
True.
And
From
he set
hundreds of people.
he set
Dude, this
himself
is a
up for
great
success.
matchup. Oh my god, this is the Super Bowl matchup. So
To get into the semifinals.
Agent 47 finds him first. I think we can agree with that.
John Wick expects it.
But John Wick knows. He knows it's coming. So now it's about Agent 47's ability to hit his man and John Wick's ability to evade. Which John Wick takes bullets. John Wick gets hit. John Wick gets beat. He's just able to get out. Now you have one of the best hitman against one of the best, assassin evaders.
Not equalizers.
Yeah.
I like that scenario. And then so that makes me think with that scenario, John Wick would come out on top. Yes. I would even say Agent 47 gets the drop on him and maybe even gets the drop on him multiple times. But Hitman or John Wick comes out on top and beats the Hitman, beats Agent 47 is what I'm thinking.
I definitely think so.
I'm leaning that way. It is an double overtime type of win, though.
Oh yeah, a close one. Like John Wick's gonna have to rest up before he goes into the semifinal match.
As Agent 47 can get his hands on John Wick 40 times and nothing's gonna happen. As soon as John Wick gets his hands on Agent 47,
True.
he's done.
Yeah.
Yes, when it gets close, when the chips are down.
As soon as the drop is on John Wick's favor, he wins.
Yes, but Hitman will have the drop more times out of none. More times out of 10.
And out of times, more of the times.
Yes, times.
Okay, next one we got the Kingsman against American Assassin.
John Wick wins. I swear to God.
No, he's not.
I would probably go Eggsy.
Kingsman
Really? Yeah.
See, and I would go Mitch Rapp
Really?
Who was Mitch Rapp again?
So Mitch Rapp's the one where his fiance dies. He
Yeah,
kills
when he
terrorists
goes
on
to
his
terror
own
people.
and then gets hired by the
Kingsman
CIA.
is
Kingsman tries
assassin
out to be an
training.
assassin, makes the training, does really, really well. Kingsman's another movie you need to watch. You would really enjoy it.
Really like Kingsman. Here's the thing: Kingsman's resources are limitless. There's so much technology and resource they have into finding.
and the other guy just kind of a solo
He's
guy.
just kind of a yeah.
True. Mitch Rapp
But
is
isn't Kingsman? Isn't he kind of? He's not like the best of the best. He just makes it into this academy.
that is
At
true.
first, he makes it into the academy, but he becomes the best of the best.
Does he?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna push on that because Mitch Rapp, he didn't make it into the academy. He did it on his own without he started
I could go out back and shoot somebody right now. Doesn't make me an assassin.
No, he like when he gets caught, he's trying to kill like not tens of thousands, but like hundreds of terrorists. He's not just going out and killing one terrorist and saying, "Oh, I did a good job." Like he's making a dent, and then the CIA recruits him. So that's where
is Kingsman doing the same thing or something?
No,
similar?
he's more, and that's the only thing I would say that Mitch
Kingsman's
Rapp.
more by the book. They have an agenda. There's an evil supervillain they're going after. They need to take him out.
Mitch Rapp, I think. What's the movie? American Assassin.
American Assassin.
I think I'm there.
But in Kingsman,
I think that's 2-1.
Because
he takes out a bunch of. Are they robotic dogs? Is that what they are?
I don't remember that.
Where they're in the woods and the guy steps on the landmine and he's singing and then the landmine blows up and the one girl has like robotic dogs or something go after him.
Oh yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if you remember that part.
But we have someone who's by the book, and we got a
guy who's
loose
not.
cannon.
So that's where I think Mitch Rapp might.
All right, I'll give it to him.
That's another good
Okay.
one. That's another good one.
I'll
This
give
is
it to
getting
him.
harder.
Mitch Rapp moves on. Kingsman loses. Okay, our last matchup to see who goes in the semifinals. You got Jason Bourne versus Christian Wolf. Ooh, I would even dare say there's some autism with Jason Bourne too. Like if you think about it,
Yeah,
he's
you're
kind
right,
of
Matt Damon's pretty autistic.
no, I mean like even from like the movie, like Jason Bourne's just different. Like he doesn't connect well. He's kind of an outcast. He's almost like, this is interesting. I would say Christian Wolf.
Really? I was gonna say
Or
Jason Bourne because he's the OG.
He's pretty OG.
He's the one. He's the one who taught it all. They had to learn from him.
The other thing too is he is beating and escaping and evading with no tech, with no help.
True. He is just on his own
Yeah, he's just a monster. Where the accountant,
as someone that's helping him.
so but he would have someone who's helping him, right? But it would just be a 1v1 situation. It would be somebody helping him. Who finds who first? Probably the accountant.
Yep.
But can the accountant get him? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
An entire nation couldn't get Jason Bourne.
The entire CIA.
Yeah.
Three-letter agencies couldn't
Yeah, every
couldn't
single
bag
one.
that guy.
Was there any of that with the accountant? Or like was the CIA coming after him, or was it just like mobsters?
That's
know?
true.
I think it's Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I am too.
Which is interesting because the other Bourne legacy guy got beat, didn't he?
Oh shit, he did.
And Jason Bourne's moving on.
Nice.
Hey, what's our upsets on this one?
So that was an upset. Christian Wolf was probably ranked higher than he should have been. That might have been some bias on the ranking league. Jason. So that was an upset there. Mitch Rapp was not an upset. He was 6th, beat an 8th seed. John Wick was 5 and beat a 10th seed. James Reese was a number 1 seed and beat a 14 seed, which makes sense. Okay, semifinals. So this is going into the finals. So we might need to spend some time on these ones. Let's go with James Reese versus John Wick.
James Reese, the Terminalist.
The Terminalist versus John Wick.
Agent 47 can get him, dude.
Who's killed more people in their life? For sure, John Wick. Who's been in more fights? Who's evaded more people?
I actually think this one's easier.
Here's the thing.
No.
Hold on, before you the Terminalist. James Reese was never hunted.
Okay, let's push pause for a second. I have read
That's a good point.
5 to 6 books with James Reese.
Okay.
He does get hunted. He gets hunted by the Russian.
But this is about movies.
No, I would say
their character.
I would say
Okay.
about just about like the universe they're in. Because I would argue like Jason Bourne first one is better than the last one, but let's take everything that we know about him. With James Reese, he does go through what John Wick goes through. Guys, James Reese, I wish you had read all the books because you would understand why he's
I've only seen the show.
I know,
Amazon-
and it
Amazon
doesn't
Prime.
do him justice.
Dude, I was badass. He's awesome.
I know, and so times that by 1,000,000 when he's in the books. So book
A
one,
million.
not 1,000,000, but times it, I would say give it a good 2 or 3x multiplier in the books with all the books. Like he's not just a guy that's on a revenge list. Like he gets to the point that like people are fearing him. Like
That's true.
That's where John Wick. Yeah.
I know, and so that's what when you talk about the
boogeyman.
when you
The
talk
boogeyman,
about the
that's right.
boogeyman, he killed them with a fucking pencil. That is James Reese.
That's literally
No,
John Wick.
that's James Reese. I know that. I know that's John Wick and that's his tagline, but that's James Reese. That's what he gets to. I think that's why this is a good matchup. But James Reese is like, again, I'm going to go back to the fact that John Wick, every single fight is sloppy. He is always getting his ass kicked and he barely makes it through. What I'm going to say about James
He's
Reese,
against the best of the best.
James Reese dominates and he never even comes close from sniping from
But he's another one of those guys where no one knows he's coming.
No, he does in other books. He gets to the point where people know they're being hunted by him and he still comes out on top.
Just like John Wick.
Wait,
Just
but
like-
at the end of the terminal list, doesn't he get messed up pretty?
No, he walks at the end of the terminal list. It's when his girlfriend has debt cord.
Right?
Yeah, it's everyone in the room. It's surrounded by a bunch of high level people. He kills all those guys, goes in. His girlfriend's got debt cord wrapped around her neck. His best friend's like, dude, we got your girlfriend. If you kill me, she's done. He shoots him immediately. Doesn't even care about it because he's on a mission and he gets it done. Like there's no emotion. There's nothing.
And his girlfriend dies?
No, they didn't have the debt cord connected. It was just a
Bluff.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but John Wick loses a dog, and it's got no attachment. It's game
James
over.
Reese
I don't
lost
know.
his wife and daughter and his unborn son, and he is on a mission.
Is Jason born son?
He was the father of Jason Bourne in another universe. So,
John Wick.
Here's
Okay,
the
what
thing.
what John Wick has going for him is it's fucking John Wick.
and his body count, man, he's just tapping it left and right.
And
He's been shot. He's been stabbed. He's been hit,
and it's a slog.
and he's getting through
But
it.
it's a
It's
but,
a slog.
but that's my thing is it's always like last minute he barely gets a new magazine loaded and
Okay.
racked and then able to shoot.
But
That doesn't happen to James Reese.
But is James Reese, is he fighting in an assassin world full of highly trained, capable assassins?
in book one, kind of in
in the
some
show,
of it.
he's fighting people who know how to fight. He's fighting military people who definitely know what they're doing, but he's assassinating them without a fight
In
because he's just so badass.
because
books,
he's just on top of them before they know.
So in books 3 and 4 in terminal list, it does start to get to the point that he has assassins that are hunting him and they can't close the deal, similar to John Wick. And he comes out on top.
I think I'm with Terminalist
I'm John Wick, dude, all the way. How are you not?
because
I would.
James Reese has never been hit by a top level assassin. There's no,
Yes, he has.
He's beaten everything that's been thrown at him, hands down.
so John Wick.
But
So
John,
why is John Wick any different?
but John Wick is sloppy when he wins. Every movie, it's like
Because he's fighting 100 people at the same time.
No, he's fighting 4 or 5, and they're coming at him one at a time.
and I feel like if you put
I don't know if I agree with that.
I feel like if you put James Reese in John Wick universe, he would do better than John Wick.
You think so?
Yeah. Because James Reese, like, John Wick's just like, well, then I'll just stick around the city where all the assassins are and I'll just keep driving motorcycles and keep getting hunted. Like, I think James Reese could think better than John Wick could.
Yeah, that's no kidding, huh? He's like, oh, well, this is my life
Yeah,
now.
but John Wick's
Just- I just have to
confidence
fight
is so
off
high.
people.
He just goes, "I'll take, bring it on,
Yeah, that's
He doesn't
true.
care
send
anymore.
it,
He doesn't care.
send it."
If he dies, he dies. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
True, and that's I would put that John Wick does get, especially in episode or number 4, he's almost just like, I don't care, let's bring it on, let's fight. Versus James Reese has still got more to live for.
That passion. James Reese wins. All right, buddy.
I think
And
you're
all the
gonna hurt
listeners,
a lot of people.
for a lot of people, this one's rough. This is a rough loss. We're storming the streets. We're climbing the light poles.
You're hurting a lot
We're
of people.
flipping cars.
Lighting stuff on fire.
Yeah, but that's the number 1 seed and the number 5 seed. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Ooh.
was a tough one.
God, is he gonna take it all? Number 1 seed? This is bullshit.
Yeah, he is.
Maybe.
At this point.
We'll see.
This is bullshit. Who's he up against? Ooh.
So you got Mitch Rapp against Jason Bourne. I gotta go with Jason Bourne.
Mitch Rapp is who again?
He's the one. His fiance dies. He starts.
American Assassin.
American Assassin.
Hey.
I-
I gotta go, Jason.
Again, I would say Mitch Rapp later on. Obviously, he starts hunting people on his own, but later on, he's got the CIA helping him. The CIA couldn't bag Jason.
Couldn't even
Bourne.
bag Jason Bourne, man. Yep, Jason Bourne gets it.
Agreed.
Wow. Just a
Jason
just an
Bourne went
easy
further
one.
than John Wick because I think John Wick would take Jason Bourne.
That is true.
Hey, wait, who beat Bourne Legacy?
Equalizer. The
Damn.
yeah.
That was an upset. That
It
was
was
an
an
upset.
What if you would put Blade on there?
I don't know.
He's a
Blade.
vampire. He's got special.
Yeah, true. He can't be on here. Okay, final matchup: James Reese against Jason Bourne.
All right, let's go through this one. So they're hunting each other. Who finds who first? James Reese finds him first. He gets the drop on him
I don't think so.
over Jason Bourne, the Lone Ranger.
Even before Jason Bourne becomes a Lone Ranger, he was assassinating people.
James Bourne's entire mission set is finding people.
Yeah, like that's
James
what his
Reese
job.
struggles to find people, but once he does well.
Hmm.
True, it does. I would agree
Good
with that.
case.
It does take a while for James Reese to track people down, but when he gets them, he gets the job done. So I would Jason Bourne finds them first. So now we got to play it out.
Here's the
Oh,
other thing.
man.
So
We
James
got
Reese has a team with him throughout the entire series. He's alone for some of it, but near the end, he has people on his side trying to help him clear his name.
True. Let's even the playing field. These guys get cut off from all communication. It's just their skills against the other person's skills, which I would agree. Jason Bourne finds them first. Let's say that they're both in the United States. They locate each other. Do we want to go city or in the mountains? Well, if they find James Reese, they're going to find him in the mountains. James Reese is a big time hunter. Like he's up in the mountains doing that type of stuff. So they find him in the mountains.
But so Jason Bourne locates him,
I would say
and he's the number 1 seed.
Jason Bourne's the city slicker, dude.
Yeah, but he's a fucking beast.
no. Remember in the Bourne Identity when he's in the field and the birds are flying around, and then he scares the birds up to fly a certain direction, and then because then the birds fly over the guy he's hunting, and then they jump the different way, and then he goes and kills them. Like that's the cool thing about. And I know I want James Reese to win, but Jason Bourne is like he thinks on his
Step
feet.
ahead in that manner.
Yeah.
I almost think Jason Bourne wins this one.
What?
I'm kind of there. We're in the middle of halftime, and Jason Bourne's up for me.
Okay,
Should we
we're
ask ChatGPT?
we're at halftime.
No,
Why not?
Let's ask him. We'll still make our decisions, but so you're Jason Bourne at halftime.
at halftime I'm Jason Bourne.
And I'm undecided. I can't decide.
I would say at halftime, James Reese. So one of the books, there's a sniper that thinks he's found him because they're both like sniping at each other, and he's like, the sun comes up, and the other sniper's like, oh, that's James Reese. That's his watch. Those are his boots. I got the drop on him. Boom, pulls a shot off, sees the body move a little bit, pulls another shot off, and then he goes back to his truck to pack up, and James Reese is waiting for him there. And his driver that was supposed to pick him up is the one that was in James Reese's clothing and had his watch on him. And so he was a step ahead too. I would say James Reese
But
is up.
that was a low level assassin. That was a low level.
No, he was the highest
With Jason
level.
Bourne level?
No, not Jason Bourne level.
Okay.
But he was a high level assassin. Yes, not Jason Bourne level. Okay, I'll do it. I'll give you that. Jason Bourne's up at halftime. He's found him first. He's got the drop on him. Let's say
He
this.
has the skills to finish it.
Let's say this. He gets the drop on him, but doesn't do any damage, and they get closer. Let's not have this be a sniping competition. Because James Reese is also a very good sniper. So for some reason,
You put a gun in James Reese's hands, that's where he's going to shine.
yes, he shines with weapons. So let's get them maybe even some close quarters combat after that situation in the second half. Did you get up Chat GPT?
I did. Punisher would win close range fights every day of the week. Yeah.
So I'm Jason Bourne's up at halftime, but not by a significant margin. You're same. Jason Bourne's up at halftime. Where are you at, Jordan? At halftime. Oh, you said you were undecided.
Yeah, I have a hard time deciding. I don't know, actually. They both have really good skill sets.
What does ChatGPT say?
ChatGPT's giving me a bunch of bullshit, saying that in a hypothetical fictional battle, it would be up to the writer's interpretation. I don't
Where are the writers?
Shit.
We're the writers.
Tell them, say, we're the writers and you need to finish the book, damn it.
It wrote a story.
Oh, nice.
Okay, you read the story. I want to talk about this one for a little bit. I wonder if there's going to be people that are very frustrated with this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because they say they like the Equalizer, or no, yeah, the Equalizer, and then he gets beat out by him, and so it'll be interesting to hear people's feedback on this episode. Like, are you guys kidding me? So and so lost to so and so. Like this will be a fun
I agree.
Yeah.
Please go to our socials and comment who would actually win a fight.
Yep. Not a fight, an assassination.
Attempt. Okay, I'm gonna read the story to you. This finishes the chapter. Okay. As James Reese and Jason Bourne faced each other in the dimly lit, abandoned warehouse, tension hung in the air. Both men, masters of their craft, knew that this encounter would be a battle of wits and skills like none they had ever experienced. The fight was fierce, with punches and kicks engaged at blinding speed. Reese's Navy SEAL training and Bourne's CIA experience were on full display. The fight raged on, neither giving an inch, each countering the other's moves with precision and cunning. Just when it seemed like the battle could go on indefinitely, they found themselves locked in a final desperate struggle. In a breathtaking moment, Reese managed to gain a slight advantage, narrowly avoiding a deadly strike from Bourne. With a quick and calculated move, Reese immobilized Bourne, leaving him incapacitated on the warehouse floor. Breathing heavily, James stood victorious, looking down his formidable opponent. The battle had pushed both men to their limits, but in this particular encounter, it was Reese who emerged as the victor.
I'm not there. That's some bullshit. In a hand-to-hand combat?
In hand-to-hand
You're
combat,
saying-
a Navy SEAL is going to beat a CIA agent, hands down.
Yeah, I would agree. And I would say I'm wondering I wonder how many books ChatGPT has access to, because there's like the highest level Russian assassin that comes to fight him, and they get in a hand-to-hand combat situation.
Should I ask why it determined that?
Ooh, ask it. Say, give us a reason of why you did it that way. What was interesting though is when this high-level assassin tries to assassinate, they end up getting in a fist fight. It turns into a jiu-jitsu match, and James Reese has the jiu-jitsu skills to be able to just barely pull it off, because the guy is outsizes him big time, but his jiu-jitsu skills are just a little bit better, and he gets him in a choke, incapacitates him, and finishes him off.
It tried to be creative and engaging. That's what it said.
Dumb. Okay, so
I think
that
a Navy SEAL's being a CIA operative.
Man.
Without any resources. Is that where their resources?
Just to
were?
make it even.
Well, Jason Bourne did get the drop on him.
I would agree that Jason Bourne was leading at halftime, but I think
So, you think he was able to ward it off enough to get into hand-to-hand combat with him?
yes, I would think so. And then I think he gets his jiu-jitsu skills are big enough advantage to where he would come out on top with Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne is good at hand-to-hand combat, but not to James Reese's.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
I gotta give it to the military genre.
The number one seed takes the whole thing.
Yeah, this
takes
was
the
for
whole
nothing,
thing.
dude. What the hell?
Yeah.
It was just determined.
Who did you bet on? You bet on John
I
Wick.
bet on John Wick, and
Who'd you bet on?
I stand
James
by
Reese.
it.
Really?
Yeah.
You son of a... He cooked it.
He did cook the books, but I
He's the
stand by
accountant
John
here.
Wick.
He cooked the books for us.
If you listen to this whole episode, comment why John Wick would win.
He would, clearly.
There's no other comment. So, but other than
it
that,
depends on who he's matched up against.
John Wick should have probably been on the other side of the bracket. But again, I would even say Jason Bourne would beat John Wick. I think
Maybe.
Jason Bourne would beat John Wick.
and they blew up the man's house and he didn't die. So what's Jason Bourne gonna do against John?
Because he
Wick?
went out the back.
Yeah, exactly. You'll do it again.
You
want to see me do it again?
Okay, that was fun.
It depends. Like the seeding is very important.
It is
because John Wick beats 90% of that bracket.
He does. The only people that could beat John Wick, I think, are like a Jason Bourne, a James Reese, and that's it. I think those are the only people that would give John Wick a challenge. Is James Reese, Jason Bourne. The only people that give James.
What you should have put on there was cancer.
It does beat him in the end.
No, it doesn't.
He actually does.
He beats it?
He does. He beats cancer.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Because he does. So it could have been a number 2 seed, and he just wipes cancer's butt.
Wipes its butt.
I'm trying to think who, so besides John Wick and Jason Bourne, who would give James Reese a tough side or a tough match on the other side of the bracket? Christian Wolf, but Jason Bourne.
What about Agent 47?
True, because that was a John Wick and Agent 47 was a tough one.
Because he would be like the ultimate hunter.
True.
Against somebody who's not good at defending a hunt.
Not necessarily.
He would be, but
he is good, but not necessarily. He might be able to edge him out.
Yeah.
Because Agent 47 beat John Wick, didn't he?
No. John Wick beat Agent 47.
Oh.
Is there an AI program you could plug 2 people into and they just fight? Do you remember that old TV show where they would put like battles together?
So here's something.
Spartans versus modern soldiers.
Yeah, here is something fun. You can go to it's called Superhero Database, I think is what it's called. And you can choose Batman versus Wolverine, and it has statistics on each of them, and it'll give you who would most likely win in a fight based off intelligence, martial arts skills, speed, agility, strength, like it has it all matched up, and then it's just a math equation after that. So that's a fun thing you could go do with superheroes, but maybe that's an idea. Maybe we need to build a website for action heroes, put them on there. Action heroes, or what is it? Action movie heroes.
Be awesome. Cool, that was fun.
So yeah, the terminal list was written by Jack Carr. He was a Navy SEAL.
Thank you.
Which it's actually really cool the way Jack Carr writes his books. He tries to put some. He actually has like a what's it called at the front of the book before the book starts, a foreword. Is that what it's called sometimes?
Yeah, or an interlude or something.
Yeah,
books. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, he talks about the reason I write these is because I've experienced this. He talks about like I have been in Iraq and I have been ambushed by people. He's like I've felt those feelings. I've been in those situations. So when I try to write these books, I try to write them in such a way to give that same passion. And the books are really good. The series was good. It was just a one season series. So go check out the Terminal List on Amazon.
On Amazon Prime. I'd never seen Chris Pratt in anything where he had to be portrayed as super serious before.
True.
And this was a super serious role and he crushed it.
Yep.
Probably one of his best roles.
What about in Jurassic World? He was pretty serious there.
Oh yeah, sure he was.
No. Do you know why Jack Carr picked James Reese?
Being Chris Pratt?
Or Chris Pratt to be James Reese?
I don't know. Because of his humor?
No.
But he doesn't.
Because he's a Navy SEAL in another movie. Have you ever seen Zero Dark 30?
Oh, yeah, I have.
So he's a Navy SEAL in that one. So Jack Carr saw that movie. He was like, wow, I liked James Reese because he was like a cool, fun guy, but he had this, I can flip a switch and kill you. And that's what James Reese is. James Reese is a good dude at heart. Like he was a father, and then his wife and daughter and unborn son were killed. And then he comes back with revenge. Then more books dive into other aspects. So check out the books. That was fun. See you guys later.
Peace.
Thanks for listening today. We hope that you take this back to your friends and your family and have these same conversations.
You can catch us at a Lunchtime Conversation on Instagram and a Lunchtime Conversation on Facebook, and on Twitter or X, it is a Lunchtime Convo.
We'd love to hear from you, and maybe we'll use you guys on a future episode.